Here's some quick editing tricks in Audacity. When I import a WAV file, I've got my left channel up here, my right channel down here, but it's only letting me select both. So what you can do is if you go to over here on the track, you can choose to split stereo track. Now when you do that, it almost looks like nothing happens, except now I can select just one side or the other. So here I could highlight this. And at first it looks like you can't mute something, but if you go under effects, you can actually do an inverse. If I say, look, amplify this minus, it should mute that section. So it's going to take it a second to run through that processing, but you'll see in this case, I just muted that channel because there's actually no mute under the effect. So there you can see there it's gone. The other thing I always like to point out with Audacity is the fact that up here is where you can adjust your playback speed. So if you're trying to listen back and do editing, it's up here in the upper right hand corner. Now this is Audacity on a PC. If you're on a Mac, it might look a little different. Here's a trick you can do to speed up time. Here on my hard drive, I have a folder called Podcast, and there I have the name of the podcast, in this case, School of Podcasting. I have another folder called Episodes, and these are some of the files that were put together for 409. So here, if I wanted to look at that example we looked at earlier that had the different volume levels, now normally I use all WAV files, unless, of course, I get them from somebody else, in which case is here. But I'm using Hindenburg Journalist. I wanted to show you that this will automatically adjust the volume. So here it's bringing it in, and see how it just automatically adjusted the volume down there. That's one of the keys of this program. It automatically adjusts the volumes. And then here, if I go ahead and select a piece of this and say this is a particular question, and I could go ahead and play
Business
this
in
here.
the first place.
And let's say I like that. I can click and just drag this over here, right click on it and choose rename and call this question 1. And then later I could drag these back out once I finish my name, there we go, and assemble this into my finished program. If you're looking for a file editor, and much like Sony SoundForge, this is called WavePad Studio, and you can see here under Control, you have your play speed, and you have great effects here that are very easily labeled: normalization, amplification, fade in and fade out, and you've got your easy to see play buttons down here.
Hey, this is Steve Stewart from MoneyPlanSOS.com. It is my pleasure to introduce to you.
There you go. So it is free, and easily you can come in here, highlight things, delete. You can even make things go backwards if you'd like. There are a lot of tools that have basically features that are worthless. So now if you ever wondered what Steve Stewart sounded like if he was demon possessed, there you go. That's useful. One common mistake is having massive volume differences on your podcast, and there are many tools to help this out. One, this is free. It's called the Levelator. Works on both the PC and the Mac. You simply drag and drop your WAV file or your AIFF file here. Auphonic, the desktop version, works very similar, except this one just adjusts the volume. Auphonic will adjust the volume and remove noise, and they also have, as you can see, a web-based version, and the desktop version is a one-time fee. The web-based version, which removes sound and removes noise, levels out the sound, and it will automatically post it to websites like Blueberry and Libsyn. So it kind of automates, again, your production, is a monthly fee. So there's definitely not a lack of tools when it comes to adjusting your volume. Now you will hear that Adobe Audition is very cool, and that's because it is very cool. It's actually two programs in one. If I click here, this looks a lot like Audacity, where you have your different tracks. If I hit play,
The School of Podcasting.
I can also then, if I wanted to edit this file, I could right click on it and say edit the source file, and this is where it's a lot like Sony SoundForge, and I can come in and edit this. And this is one of the really cool things. If I want to adjust the volume of this, I just highlight it and I can turn this knob, and you can see where I've now edited that piece. If I want to zoom in, I can easily zoom in and find an or you know, etc., etc. And then when you're done, you just go back to your multi-track view, and you can see there's where I've edited that. So Adobe Audition does a whole ton. Now, every one of these programs will have a bunch of features that you'll never use, but Adobe Audition is like getting 2 programs, if not 3, in one.